Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squared for boxing news and views from around the internet. Joyce vs Zhang Zhilei has officially been confirmed for the 15th of April at the Copper Box Arena in London. So I like this fight. So what we'll do is go through the press release and then a few thoughts, because credit to Zhang Zhilei for taking this fight against Joyce, who's proven, like his nickname, the Juggernaut, pretty indestructible so far, knocking out Joseph Parker, Carlos Takam, others, and looking pretty good in the process. Pretty open at times, stopping Daniel Dubois a couple of years ago as well. So he's kind of been on a roll, and no one's really wanted to face him. There's plenty of guys begging for big paydays in the heavyweight division, but none of them are talking about Joyce. All they want is the title shots and the massive money and opportunity that comes with that, rather than taking a chance and putting themselves in with a top contender like Joyce to try get their way to a title the correct way, rather than just beating sort of fringe contenders and then begging publicly for big fights. You can think of a few, I can too. So this fight, Joyce, Zhang, to the press release, we'll skip past the first bit. So this is for the WBO interim title that Joyce won when he fought Joseph Parker. Obviously, he's gunning for a shot at the full version of the title when an opportunity becomes available. But you've got Joyce saying it's a great fight. He had a tough fight against Hrgović, but I thought he won the fight. Zhang is a big, strong southpaw who is massive, and he has been to the Olympics and all that. And he's not just been to the Olympics, he won a silver medal just like Joyce. So he continues, so he has the experience, and I think it will be a great fight. He bangs, so I will have to watch out for it. As Hrgović and I have a similar style, they had a great fight. So when we fight, it should be entertaining. It will be carnage in the center of the ring. I have lost my temper a few times in sparring and was once against a come-forward southpaw who was trying to knock me out. It was an exciting spar. I think with me and Zhang, there will be real heavy punches exchanged, and I'm sure it will be a good fight. It will be a good preparation for Usyk or Fury, plus I haven't fought a southpaw since I won the Commonwealth title against Leroy Thomas. Actually, he raises a good point. Having an opportunity against a southpaw, should he get through him, is good experience, valuable rounds for potentially what is to come. But I would note, though, he is behind the WBA and IBF in terms of, say, if Usyk beat Fury or if Fury gets the belts and that sort of stuff, there's a rotation of titles. So there could be a little bit of a wait. It's sort of hard to know, because what if the belts fracture? Then obviously he would be Johnny on the spot. But a lot of question marks about the whole situation. For Zhang, he says, it's a new chapter in my career. I'm always up for the challenge, and when the opportunity rings the bell. Joyce and I share a lot in common. We're both Olympic silver medalists, both are big punchers and are nearly the same size. This is going to be an explosive, epic and tremendous fight. I want to thank my team and Joyce's team for putting this together. I want all my fans in the UK to show up and enjoy the event. Can't wait to get in the ring on April 15. Then you have Frank Warren. He says, this is another cracker of a card that should be in keeping with the special night we all just enjoyed at Wembley. We want to keep Big Joe busy while the heavyweight title scene unfolds, but there can be no easy touches in defense of his WBO interim title. Zhang Zhilei is anything but an easy touch. He is a formidable powerhouse who can consider himself unlucky not to still be an unbeaten contender following his fight with Filip Hrgović last year, which, as we know, was a back-and-forth humdinger, very close. Many people had it going either way or even a draw. It was just a very close and competitive fight. And he continues, Zhang, being a southpaw, ticks a significant box for Joe, with Usyk being a left-hander and Tyson carrying the ability to adopt either stance. This is what we want next for Joe, and hopefully it will be a huge all-British collision against Tyson. Then you have Zhang Zilei's spokesperson, Terry Lane, saying, this is a great fight for boxing and a great opportunity for Zhilei. Once again, he takes on a challenge that many are running from. There will be fireworks in London on 15 April. So I do agree that this is a challenge that others would be basically, I haven't seen these different promo posts, I'm just downloading them as I do the video. It's always good to have different formats, different size ones. Like I can use this one here for the thumbnail, which you would have seen as you came into the video. But I think also you have to consider for Zhang Zhilei, if he doesn't take this fight, where does he go? The doors have kind of closed a little bit after the loss to Hrgović. Often after a loss, there's a slight rebuild. But jumping straight into this one, he's taking the opportunity. I like it. Joyce also does need tough rounds against guys who can punch. And in Zhang Zhilei, he's got a guy who might be a bit long in the tooth now at 39. But as we saw in that fight against Hrgović, he can bang. He's accurate. He can land his left hand. And with Joyce having been a bit leaky in some of his fights, he's going to have to tighten up. He's going to have to be wary. While he sort of does rely on his chin as he juggernauts forward and tries to grind his opponent into the dust, he's going to come up against someone at some point who clips him on the chin, and it does some damage. It's not always going to be a case that he can just walk through someone's best work as he's trying to impose himself. So I do think that Joyce, probably because of the dangers that Zhang poses, may fight a little bit differently. And we've seen this before from Joyce and his trainer Ismail Salas. They game plan for the respective fighter. You saw with the Joseph Parker fight, he didn't respect Parker's power. He was willing to take what Parker had, but for Zhang, maybe they'll do things a little bit differently, like they did against Daniel Dubois. They were wary about the power, so they circled. They used fundamentals to basically thwart Daniel Dubois, and circling, moving, jabbing, it basically was Dubois' kryptonite that night. So Joyce, Zhang Zhilei, I think Joyce is the favourite. He should go into it the favourite. He's the guy with the momentum. He is the fighter who's been looking mostly dominant in his fights. It'll be interesting to see, will Zhang Zhilei try to work to the body as well? The only real weakness, apart from obviously being very open in his defence, that we've seen from Joyce in his career was when he was hurt to the body against Bryant Jennings. Zhang can work to the body well, but he can also be guilty of headhunting a little bit. And I think for Joyce, he will have to be somewhat careful early on, but he's going to have to really, I think, put it on Zhang with the work rate and make those 39-year-old legs work. I think the best of Zhang is in those first 4, 5, 6 rounds. We've seen him before fade a little bit down the stretch. I mean, most famously against Jerry Forrest, but apparently there were other issues at play. But he does carry power and late. But I do think Joyce can juggernaut him to some extent if he's careful and does manage to, sort of either take or avoid the best of Zhang Zhilei's work. I like the fight. It is a good interim sort of fight, as Frank Warren says. It's not quite a stay busy. It's more than that. It is a challenge against a guy who's southpaw, a look Joyce hasn't seen too much of. He's big, he's strong, about the same size, he can punch. It is a decent challenge. But Joyce is the favourite given the momentum and what we've seen him do. And Zhang, we know he can be hurt too. So, yeah, I like the fight. And I'm expecting Joyce to win, but I think maybe he could be pushed. I think we'll have to see Joyce and Salas' trainer come in with the game plan to see off the best of Zhang's work early and then juggernaut mode activated later on. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment loud and often, hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.